Sometimes the sky cries for the ones who no longer can. This morning it poured. Not just water, but weight. A gray morning bleeds into a city that never waits. Rain clings to traffic lights, to empty storefronts, to his shoes, soles cracked like his luck. Caleb, mid-40s, in a thrift store suit, stands under a crumbling bus shelter, shoulders curled against the cold. His tie is too short. His resume, folded in a sandwich bag, is tucked beneath his coat. Cars hiss past. One splashes him, he flinches. Doesn't curse. Just brushes off the mud with the same patience you use on a stubborn child. He adjusts his watch, though it's not ticking. Behind him, a billboard reads, "Reimagine your life. Join the Winners Network today." A smiling executive poses with a fake family. All teeth, no soul. Caleb murmurs to himself, rehearsing. "Good morning, Ms. Allen. I have 10 years of facilities management experience." Stops, exhales. Too desperate. Tries again. "Morning. I'm Caleb Pierce. Thank you for the opportunity. I believe—" He stops again, tongue pressed to his cheek. A woman rushes by, drenched. She's holding her phone over her head instead of using it. No umbrella. Caleb watches her, pauses, and steps forward. Caleb, offering his umbrella. "Here, you'll need this more than I will." Woman, surprised. "You sure?" Caleb, half smile. "I'm already wet. Plus, you look like you got somewhere important to be." Woman, smiling, genuine. "Thank you." "Really?" She disappears through the revolving doors of a downtown building. Caleb watches her go, lingers a moment, then walks away. No umbrella, no job yet, and soaked to the bone. The camera pans up with him as he turns the corner. Behind him, the building door slowly swings shut. A small brass plaque catches the rain. Morrow Industries. Executive entrance. But Caleb never looks back. In a small apartment tucked between shadows and second chances, love lives where money doesn't, and sometimes the warmth of a daughter's voice is the only light left on. Evening settles in. The glow from a single lamp bathes the chipped walls in soft amber. A fan hums overhead, masking the silence between father and daughter. The apartment is modest. One bedroom, a mattress on the floor, a fold-out table where a plate of reheated noodles waits beside a pair of tiny hands. Caleb walks in, soaked. His dress shirt clings to him like failure. He peels it off silently, hanging it near the open window. His daughter, Ava, 6, bright-eyed and barefoot, jumps up. "Avia, Daddy! You're home! Did you get it?" Caleb pauses, then forces a smile. "Almost. I think today was better than yesterday." Ava, nodding like a grown-up. "I made dinner. Noodles again. But I stirred it this time, like you do." Caleb, sitting beside her. "That explains why it smells 5-star. Ava." "I'm gonna be a noodle chef, but only for you." Caleb, "That's a big job. I hope you're ready for the pressure." Ava, giggling. "Only if I get to wear the hat they eat." Caleb twirls his noodles slowly, staring at the ceiling, lost in the weight of another. Number Ava slides her drawing across the table. Stick figures. Her, him, and a building labeled Big Daddy Office. Caleb, softly. "That's beautiful. Baby, Ava. That's your office when you get the job. And this," points, "that's your boss face." Caleb, smiling gently, looks serious. "Does he still tell bedtime stories?" Ava nods. "Only the best ones." They move to the mattress. Ava curls beside him under a patchy quilt. Her small fingers find his Ava, whispering. "Did they like you, Daddy?" Caleb, long pause. "I think. They liked that I showed up." Ava drifts off, her head on his chest. Caleb watches the ceiling, blinking back defeat. His phone lies silent on the floor beside him. Screen cracked, hope thinner than the blanket covering them. Outside, it's still raining. Inside, one heartbeat cradles another. A man can only wear the same hope so many times before the seams begin to fray. But Caleb? He stitched faith into every thread. Montage begins. Caleb stands at a mirror, straightening the same faded tie. He brushes lint off his blazer with the edge of a cereal box. Dean! He snips a loose thread from his trouser hem using the last sharp blade in a disposable razor. Interview rooms blur into one another. One panel of suits doesn't even look up. Another interviewer checks their phone mid-sentence. One smiles politely and says, "We'll keep your resume on file." Caleb shakes hands, smiles, leaves, again, and again. At a diner, he nurses a cup of coffee long enough to earn side eyes from the server. In a waiting room, a younger applicant taps away on a tablet. Caleb reads his answers from a notebook. In a bus window reflection, Caleb adjusts his collar like armor. The world keeps moving. He keeps moving slower. Caleb, muttering under his breath on a park bench. 10 interviews, 0 callbacks. Maybe I should just tape "overqualified" to my forehead. A stranger passes. Caleb nods, keeps the frustration to himself. At home, he lays the suit jacket flat on the table, AVA, off-screen. "Why are you sewing?" Caleb, threading a needle. Little rip in the sleeve. Gotta keep it sharp for tomorrow. Ava, walking over with a juice box. "Can I help?" Caleb, smiling softly. "You already do." He finishes the last stitch. The needle snaps. He lifts the suit up to the light. The patch job shows, crooked, but clean. He lays it carefully over the chair like a soldier preparing for battle. Tomorrow's interview is circled in red on the calendar. There are no more circles left after that. Sometimes, the smallest gestures are the ones that echo loudest, but we don't hear the echo until much later. Morning, a different kind of stillness. The kind that feels like maybe, just maybe, the day will unfold differently. Caleb stands at the corner of 10th and Baxter, a manila folder clutched tight under his arm. His suit is pressed, stitched with care and a father's pride. He checks the address on a slip of paper. Morrow Industries, 9th floor HR. Across the street the building gleams, all glass and ambition. The light changes. Caleb steps into the crosswalk. A luxury SUV nearly grazes him. He doesn't flinch. At the main entrance, he hesitates, wipes his shoes on the mat, straightens his posture. Behind him, a woman in heels rushes toward the door, her bag sliding off her shoulder. Caleb, instinctively holding the door open. "Got it?" Woman, breathless. "Barely. Thanks. I'm late." Caleb, smiling. "Better late than never, right?" Woman, pauses, eyes him for a second. "You interviewing?" Caleb, that obvious? "Woman, it's the folder." Dead giveaway. Caleb, chuckles. "Hopefully not too dead." She laughs, a short, unguarded sound, and steps inside. Caleb, after a beat. "Good luck in there." Woman, over her shoulder, walking away. "You too." He lets the door close behind her, doesn't think twice. Inside the building, she disappears into a private elevator labeled Executive Access. Only, Caleb presses the up button for guests. He doesn't know that he just held the door open for the woman who'll decide his future. She doesn't know she just walked past the man who might change hers. He'd always believed preparation was the key. But some rooms weren't made for people like him. They were built to remind you didn't belong. Caleb steps off the elevator into a modern, waiting area bathed in artificial light and silent judgment. The walls are lined with abstract art. Everything smells like cologne and control. 3 other candidates sit nearby, early 30s, sleek suits, fresh haircuts, tapping away at phones like they've already got the job. Caleb sits quietly, folder in lap. The receptionist glances up, offers a tight, polite smile. Nothing more. He fidgets with his wedding band. though the tan line suggests it's been gone a while. Across from him, a man scoffs under his breath after looking at Caleb's shoes. Young candidate, to the room. You'd think they'd send a calendar invite or something, sitting here like it's American Idol. Second candidate, Morrow's old school. They want you nervous, tests your poise. Caleb, half smiling. Well, I guess I've been testing well my whole life then. Young candidate, looking him over. You here for the ops manager post? Caleb. That's the one. Second candidate, smirking. Bold. No offense, sir, but they're looking for digital transformation experience. AI, workflow streamlining, lean systems. Caleb, quietly. I've streamlined dinner with $3 and a microwave. I think I'll manage. The elevator dings. Everyone turns. The woman from earlier steps out, composed, confident, holding a sleek tablet. She pauses, scanning the room. Her eyes briefly catch Caleb's. Then she walks straight through the glass doors marked Executive Boardroom. The receptionist stands. Receptionist. Gentlemen, the CEO will be with you shortly. Caleb's eyes widen just slightly. CEO, the woman he held the door for? She's not just late, she's in charge. Sometimes recognition doesn't come all at once. It arrives slowly, like a name you almost remember, or a door that lingers half open in your mind. Inside the executive boardroom, glass walls reflect tension and expensive suits. A long oak table stretches beneath hanging lights. Pitch decks are loaded on tablets. Resumes printed on crisp stock rest neatly before each panelist. Caleb enters slowly when called. His shoes scuff against marble floors. His shoulders square, but his eyes flicker. Across the table, seated at the center, is her. The woman from the door. No smile now, just authority. The panel shuffles papers. No one speaks first. Time dilates. Her fingers hover above his resume. Her gaze locks with his. HR manager, breaking the silence. Mr. Caleb Pierce, thank you for coming in. Please have a seat. Caleb sits, nods slowly. Thank you for having me, HR manager. We've reviewed your application. Could you tell us, briefly, why you think you're a fit for this role? Caleb clears throat, eyes still flicking toward her. I've managed people, fixed broken systems, worked through supply shortages, staff turnover, budget cuts. I don't have fancy metrics, but things ran smoother when I was there. People stayed longer. Waste went down. Board member, without looking up. Your experience is unconventional. Do you have certifications? Caleb, evenly. Not on paper. He glances at her again. She's still silent, studying him. A beat passes. Caleb. Softly, realization dawning. You were outside this morning. Her expression doesn't change, but her eyes blink slowly. CEO, calm, measured. Let's stay on topic. He swallows hard. The room feels suddenly smaller. She finally speaks. But it's not to him. CEO, let's move to the scenario questions. Her tone is smooth, detached, but under the table, her hand tightens slightly around her pen. And Caleb? He finally understands. The woman he helped is deciding whether to help him. The hardest part isn't hearing no. It's walking through the front door like it didn't matter. Evening falls harder this time. The apartment is dim. The bulb in the kitchen flickers once before going dark completely. Caleb sets his worn briefcase down beside the door. His shoulders slump the moment the latch clicks behind him. The sound of the world shutting out. On the counter, a final notice from the electric company. Red. Bold. The due date is tomorrow. He stares at it, breathes in, picks it up, folds it once, slips it beneath a cookbook, like it doesn't exist. From the other room, Ava's voice hums softly. A lullaby she made up, AVA, from under the covers. Did you get the job today? Caleb, entering slowly. Not yet. But I wore my lucky socks, AVA, sits up, grinning. The holy ones? Caleb, mock serious. They're ventilated, AVA, snorts. Maybe they're unlucky. She pulls back the blanket beside her, inviting him in. Caleb, climbing in. What if tomorrow's different? AVA. What if it's not? Caleb, quiet. Then I'll still try the day after. She pauses, then slides a small purple coin pouch from under her pillow. AVA. I've been saving. Caleb, softly. Saving what? AVA, for the rent. I put in all my shiny ones, and the silver ones you said were quarters. He looks at her tiny hands, her big hope, her faith stitched into zippers and cents. Caleb, choked. You're my best investment, AVA. Does that mean I get interest? They laugh, quietly, like people who know the walls are thin and the world is thinner. Outside, a streetlight buzzes to life. Inside, the electricity might go out tomorrow, but tonight, there's warmth between two hearts under one threadbare quilt. Sometimes silence is louder than rejection. It creeps into the corners of hope and sits there whispering, maybe it was never yours to begin with. Morning. Sunlight spills across the cluttered kitchen table, highlighting unpaid bills, a cracked coffee mug, and the calendar with today's date circled in red. Caleb sits beside the phone, still in his undershirt, still waiting. The silence is sharp, uncomfortable. Ava plays quietly in the corner, humming to herself with crayons spread across the floor. He checks the time. Again. 10:48 a.m. He picks up the phone, presses the screen. No missed calls. He sets it down. Stares. The second hand on the wall clock clicks louder than it did yesterday. Caleb, to himself. They said, "You'll hear back first thing." Maybe it's still early. He pours himself coffee. Bitter. Cold. Swallows it anyway. AVA, without looking up. You said if they call. We're getting pizza. Caleb, I did, didn't I? AVA, smiling, extra cheese. Remember? He forces a smile, nods. The clock strikes 11:15 a.m., still nothing. He leans back, eyes closed. A breath leaves his chest like something giving up. The phone buzzes once. He jolts. Grabs it. A notification. Spam text. You're pre-approved for a car loan. He sets the phone down. Worse than silence. False hope. He rubs his face with both hands. Defeated. Caleb. Soft. Maybe we'll do pizza next week, baby girl. AVA. Gentle. It's okay. We can make toast pizza. He chuckles. Barely. Then, the phone rings again. He freezes. Unknown number. He stares at it. One ring. Two. The camera lingers on his hand, hovering just above the answer button. Cut to black. Kindness is quiet when it happens. But sometimes it lingers, tapping on your memory like a question that won't go away. Int Morrow. Industries. Executive office. Night. The building is mostly dark now, except for one glowing window at the top floor. Inside, the CEO, Olivia Morrow, early 40s, composed and alone, stands at her desk with the city humming below her. She stares at a resume still sitting in her inbox. Caleb Pierce. She doesn't click it. Not yet. She's still hearing the way he said, "You'll need this more than I will." Rain taps against the glass. Her reflection stares back at her. Flashback, earlier that morning. Her heel slips slightly as she rushes toward the building. She's late. Her bag sliding. Her phone buzzing. The door swings open. Caleb, calm, kind-eyed, stands holding it. No hesitation. No recognition. No expectation. She had barely said thank you. Now it replays in slow motion. The tilt of his head. The soaked sleeves. The sincerity in his voice. Olivia, to herself softly, didn't even ask my name. She pulls up his resume again. Scrolls. No college degree. 10 years custodial. 3 jobs in 7 years, but under other experience. Align. Informal facilities. Oversight. Emergency shift coverage. Supplier renegotiation. Team scheduling. She presses her fingers to her lips. Thinking, opens another file. Interviewer feedback, underqualified but composed. Showed empathy. No digital systems experience. She exhales, slow. Olivia, murmuring. You're not what we're looking for, but maybe you're what we need. She walks across her office, grabs a yellow post-it, writes a name on it, and sticks it to the edge of her screen. Caleb P. Follow up. Below it, she writes 3 words in all caps, janitor, temp hire and then. She reaches for her phone. Kindness is quiet when it happens. But sometimes it lingers, tapping on your memory like a question that won't go away. Int Morrow. Industries. Executive office. Night. The building is mostly dark now, except for one glowing window at the top floor. Inside, the CEO, Olivia Morrow, early 40s, composed and alone, stands at her desk with the city humming below her. She stares at a resume still sitting in her inbox. Caleb Pierce. She doesn't click it. Not yet. She's still hearing the way he said, "You'll need this more than I will." Rain taps against the glass. Her reflection stares back at her. Flashback, earlier that morning. Her heel slips slightly as she rushes toward the building. She's late. Her bag sliding. Her phone buzzing. The door swings open. Caleb, calm, kind-eyed, stands holding it. No hesitation. No recognition. No expectation. She had barely said thank you. Now it replays in slow motion. The tilt of his head, the soaked sleeves, the sincerity in his voice. Olivia, to herself softly, didn't even ask my name. She pulls up his resume again. Scrolls. No college degree. 10 years custodial. 3 jobs in 7 years, but under other experience. Align. Informal facilities. Oversight. Emergency shift coverage. Supplier renegotiation. Team scheduling. She presses her fingers to her lips. Thinking, opens another file. Interviewer feedback, underqualified but composed. Showed empathy. No digital systems experience. She exhales, slow. Olivia, murmuring. You're not what we're looking for, but maybe you're what we need. She walks across her office, grabs a yellow post-it, writes a name on it, and sticks it to the edge of her screen. Caleb P. Follow up. Below it, she writes 3 words in all caps. Janitor, temp hire, and then. She reaches for her phone. To a child, the title doesn't matter. Only the hero in front of them does. Int. Apartment. Evening Gava is on the floor surrounded by crayons, glitter glue, and old cereal boxes she's cutting into shapes. The smell of instant macaroni fills the room. A single candle flickers beside 2 mismatched plates. Caleb, freshly showered and in a clean t-shirt, watches her from the kitchen as he stirs dinner, exhaustion tucked quietly behind his eyes. But tonight, there's something softer in the air. Lighter. He sets down the pot, walks over. Caleb. What's all this? Ava, grinning. A celebration. For your new job. Caleb, smiling. Macaroni deluxe, huh? AVA. With the extra orange powder. Caleb, we're sparing no expense. I see. She lifts a piece of cardboard with glitter smeared across it. A homemade badge on a yarn string. On it, in big, crooked letters. Manager Caleb, Caleb, laughs. You spelled manager like a magician's spell, AVA, shrugs. You're magic to me. He crouches, takes it gently, places it around his neck like it's made of diamonds. Caleb. Officially promoted. Thank you, Chief Designer Ava, AVA. Do you have an office yet? Caleb. Not yet, but I've got a mop closet with excellent acoustics. AVA. Serious. Every hero has a hideout. They sit cross-legged on the floor, Eat with plastic forks. Share a root beer in chipped mugs. She leans against him mid-bite. AVA. Do they know how lucky they are to have you? Caleb softly. They don't yet, but you do. And that's enough. As she drifts off in his lap, the cardboard badge glints faintly in the candlelight. He touches it once, almost reverently, as if it's heavier than any nameplate ever nailed to a corner office. Some jobs require a badge, others a broom, but dignity doesn't come with a title. It's how you carry yourself when no one's watching. Int. Morrow Industries. Executive floor. Early morning. The building is quiet, still humming with pre-office stillness. Caleb, in navy blue coveralls with Morrow stitched over his chest, pushes a mop cart past rows of glass offices. He moves silently, carefully, as if trying not to disturb the walls themselves. A janitor in a world of million-dollar contracts and private equity meetings. He reaches the executive conference room. Trash bins, coffee rings, empty water bottles. He bends down to pick up a crumpled napkin and overhears two junior associates walking past with coffee and arrogance. Associate 1, chuckling. Did you hear? That guy from the lobby interview. Janitor now. Same guy who wore a tie 2 days ago. Associate 2. Yeah. From manager material to mop man. Fast track program, huh? Associate 1. Bet he told his kid he runs the building. They laugh and walk off. Caleb stays crouched behind the table, frozen. He grips the napkin tighter. Slowly he stands, continues working, slower now, but with practiced grace. At the far end of the hallway, Olivia stands by her office, holding a file, watching. She sees the associates laugh, sees Caleb wipe the table with his head slightly bowed, and sees the strength in how he keeps moving. She puts the file down, walks toward the break room. As she passes the associates, she stops. Olivia, calmly. Gentlemen, they turn, startled. Olivia, next time you're done mocking the people who keep this place standing, try cleaning up after yourselves. She walks on. In the reflection of the polished glass wall, Caleb lifts his head just slightly. He doesn't smile, but his shoulders rise, an inch taller. Not every act of kindness wants repayment. Some just ask to be remembered without being rescued. NT. CEO's office, later that day. The space is sharp, modern, and drenched in morning light. Floor-to-ceiling windows, books neatly arranged, a framed quote behind the desk, lead with grace, even when the world hands you gravel. Caleb enters slowly, summoned. He's out of uniform, wearing a button-up that's one size too big, still damp from sweat and steam rooms. He holds his cap in his hands, stands, unsure whether to sit. Olivia looks up from her laptop and gestures gently to the seat across from her. Olivia, close the door, Caleb. He does. Soft click. She sets the laptop aside. Olivia, I wanted to say thank you for this morning and for the other morning too. Caleb, dryly. Holding the door opens a low bar for gratitude. Olivia, maybe, but still, it mattered. Caleb, if this is about the guys in the hall, it's fine. I've had worse. It'll pass. Olivia, it's not fine, and it shouldn't have to pass. She pauses, studies him. Olivia, you have potential, not just work ethic, but presence, leadership. You've managed systems under pressure. I looked into your background. The way you kept that shelter running, that's not small. Caleb, doesn't say much if I'm still pushing a mop 10 years later. Olivia, that's not where I see you staying. She slides a printed document across the desk, a listing. Olivia internal opening, operations support lead. It's a stretch, but I could vouch. Only if you're interested. Caleb looks down at it. Then back up. Caleb, I appreciate that. Really. Pause. But I held that door without expecting anything. Don't reward it. Olivia, this isn't a reward. It's recognition. Caleb, Same wrapping. Different ribbon. He gently pushes the paper back. Caleb. Some of us are just trying to get through the day without needing saving. He stands. Before he leaves, he glances at the quote on the wall, then at her. Caleb, grace is earned, not given. He walks out. Olivia watches the door close. Not angry, not hurt, just thinking. For the first time, she's not sure who shut the door on who. Strength looks different when it's a father. It's not in fists or fury. It's in the way he stays calm when the world gives him every reason not to. In T. Apartment. Night. The fan spins slowly overhead, stirring stale air and worry. Caleb sits on the edge of the mattress, pressing a damp cloth to Ava's forehead. She's flushed, shivering beneath the quilt, her cheeks red and sticky with sweat. A used thermometer lies beside her on a paper towel, 102.9 and blinking. The small coin pouch she once filled with pride now sits, empty on the nightstand. Her breaths are shallow. A soft whimper escapes her lips as she turns in her sleep. Caleb, softly stroking her hair. It's okay, baby. I'm right here. We'll fix this. He dials a number on his cracked phone. Caleb, into phone. Hi, yeah. I was wondering if there's a discount program for uninsured. Pause. He listens. Nods. Caleb. Yes. Fever. 6 years old. No cough, just chills, and she's breathing fast. Pause. Another blow. Caleb. Quieter. Okay. No, I understand. Thank you. He hangs up. AVA stirs. Half-conscious. AVA is, pizza ready? Caleb. Choked whisper. Soon, sweetheart. You just rest. NT. 24-hour pharmacy. Later that night, Caleb stands at the counter, placing a bottle of children's fever medicine and a cooling pad pack on the counter. Cashier. That'll be $13.89. He pulls out a handful of coins. Quarters, dimes, a few nickels. Counts them out slowly. Comes up short by 60 cents. He starts removing items from the counter. Behind him, someone approaches. Olivia in workout clothes, holding a smoothie and a bag of protein bars. Freezes as she sees Caleb hunched over the coins. He doesn't see her. She steps to the side, silent, watching. He finally gives the cashier the last of his change and takes only the fever medicine. As he walks out into the night, the camera lingers on Olivia, her expression unreadable. The man who refused a promotion is now buying medicine 1 coin at a time, and she just witnessed a version of leadership no boardroom has ever required. Some debts aren't meant to be repaid, only recognized, because not every act of grace asks for applause. In T. Apartment. Next morning, Caleb gently wipes Ava's forehead. Her fever is lower. She sleeps more deeply now, the kind of sleep that feels like healing. The medicine bottle sits half-used on the floor. His eyes are red. He hasn't slept. He stands to stretch and notices something sticking out from beneath the door. An envelope, no name, no writing, just thick. He picks it up slowly, opens it. Inside, cash, neatly stacked, enough to cover the electric bill, medicine, and more. He stares at it for a long time, then sets it down. In T. Morrow. Industries. CEO's office. Later that day, Olivia walks in mid-morning, sipping her coffee, already deep into her emails. She pauses when she sees something resting on the center of her polished desk. A manila envelope. She opens it. Inside, the same cash, and a note, handwritten on a torn receipt. With respect, C. Assistant, off-screen. Knocking lightly. Ms. Morrow? Just checking. Did you receive the package? Olivia, without looking up. I did. Assistant. You want me to file anything? Olivia, softly. No, leave it. She folds the receipt back inside and places the envelope in her drawer. Her gaze lingers on the drawer for a long moment. Then, she looks out the window, down toward the street below where workers in navy coveralls push carts and empty bins in the early sun. In the lobby, Caleb mops the marble floor, his back straight, movements smooth and silent. He never looks up, and she never looks down, but the air between them feels changed, unspoken, unnamed, but deeply understood. Power doesn't always wear a name badge. Sometimes it wears gloves. Sometimes it waits in the closet while the suits make jokes about its silence. Int. Morrow Industries. Boardroom. Nuna. Long mahogany table shines under cold fluorescent lights. Water glasses sweat onto coasters. Executives in tailored suits scroll through quarterly reports on sleek tablets. Laughter echoes. Int. Basement. Broom. Closet Caleb. Stands alone. Peeling gloves off. The fluorescent light above him flickers. His mop leans in the corner beside cleaning supplies and an old radio playing classical piano faintly. He takes a deep breath, rolls his sleeves, wipes sweat from his brow with a rag folded in fourths. He unclips his ID badge to hang it back up. It swings slightly, the movement echoing in the cramped stillness. Dialogue. 55%. Back upstairs. Board member Intra U1. You hear about the janitor? The one from the interview cycle? Board member Nart 2. Oh yeah, what was his name? Craig? Carl? Board member number 1. Does it matter? Apparently he applied for ops manager and got the mop instead. Latter board member number 3. Bold strategy. Maybe we should let the mailroom guy take over legal next. Board member number 2. Only if he brings donuts. More laughter. Olivia sits at the far end of the table, silent, hands folded under her chin. She's not laughing. Board member Shrubbery 1, grinning at her. You've got a big heart, Olivia. But charity doesn't scale. There's another chuckle. Then silence when she doesn't respond. She gently closes her tablet. Stands. Olivia. Excuse me. Board member number 2. We're just kidding. No offense meant. Olivia, without smiling. None taken. But I have better things to do than laugh at men who wake up before sunrise. She walks out. Her heels echo against the marble. Cut to Caleb, alone in the broom closet, tying his boots back on. He hums softly, a familiar melody from the piano upstairs. The two worlds, floors apart, couldn't be more different. But today, she chooses his. Some people climb ladders. Others hold them steady for years, waiting to be seen. But not every hand that reaches down to help knows how hard it is to let go of dignity. Int. Employee. Break room. Mid-afternoon. The buzz of the vending machine hums over the muted sound of boots and coffee dripping. Caleb sits alone at a table, eating a sandwich wrapped in brown paper. His badge is clipped to his belt. Sweat still dampens the back of his neck. Olivia walks in, not in heels this time. Sneakers and a blazer over a white tee. Casual but not careless. She stops at the coffee machine, pours herself a cup, then walks toward him. He doesn't rise, just nods. Olivia. Hey, Caleb didn't expect you down here. Olivia shrugs. Needed a break from everyone who thinks leadership is spelled with an MBA. She pulls out a chair. Caleb, half smiling. You slumming it? Olivia. Maybe. Or maybe I came to talk to someone who knows how to fix more than just broken sinks. She pulls a printed document from her folder. Another listing. Olivia, the operations support lead role. It's still open. I want you to apply. Caleb. Quiet. Thought we'd covered this. Olivia. That was before I heard how the board talks. Before I saw you work 3 floors down like it mattered more than their PowerPoints. Caleb, looking away. And you think putting me in a better shirt changes what they see? Olivia. It changes what you reach for. Long beat. Caleb. I'm not charity. Olivia, firmly. This isn't about pity. It's about capacity. I see it in you. Caleb, rising softly. I've spent my whole life being told I'm capable. Capable's just another way of saying, do more with less. She stands too, now blocking his exit slightly. Olivia, then do more, but do it with a seat at the table. Caleb, I'll take a seat, when I don't have to mop it first. He brushes past her, leaving the paper behind on the table. She watches him go. The listing flutters slightly as the door closes behind him. She doesn't chase, but she doesn't tear it up, either. Children don't need to understand your struggle to feel your silence. They don't always ask the hard questions, but when they do, it's because they already know the answer. Int, apartment. Evening rain taps gently against the window pane. Inside, Caleb hangs up his uniform. Careful, precise. He peels off his boots, winces slightly. His body aches in places even pride can't reach. At the kitchen table, Ava draws with her markers. She's quiet tonight. On the table beside her sits a cardboard manager badge, now bent at one corner. She watches him out of the corner of her eye. He notices. Caleb. You okay, Pumpkin? AVA. Soft. Do you wear your badge at work? Caleb. Yeah. Every day. AVA this one? Holds up the cardboard. Caleb. Smiles gently. No, baby. That one's just for home. She puts it down. AVA. Quiet. I heard you talking to Mr. Lewis's mom outside. Caleb. Pauses. You were listening? Ava. Nods. She said you cleaned the building. Caleb. That's right, AVA. But you said you got the big job. Caleb kneels beside her. I said I got a job. I never meant to lie, I just didn't want you to think less of me, AVA. Do you? Caleb, confused. Do I what? AVA think less of you? Pause. Caleb, softly voice cracking. Some days, yeah, I do. Ava, eyes filling. Well, I don't. You still wake up. Still work hard. Still hug me warm when you're tired. Pause. AVA, quieter. So why didn't you tell me, Daddy? He sits back on his heels, the truth heavier than his shoulders can carry. Caleb, whispers, because I wanted you to believe in the version of me I'm still trying to become. She gets up from the table and walks over, wraps her arms around his neck. AVA, I already believe in you. The badge falls to the floor beside them, bent, but never broken. There comes a moment when a parent realizes they've been carrying shame that never belonged to them, because the only pride that mattered was already theirs. Inti apartment. Nita storm drums gently outside. Inside, only the soft hum of the old heater fills the silence. Caleb sits at the edge of Ava's bed, still in his wrinkled work shirt, hands clasped like he's in church. Ava lies under the covers, watching him. A drawing sits on the nightstand. Her, him, and a little star she labeled Dream Job. AVA. Are you mad at me? Caleb, softly. No. Never. AVA. Then why are you looking at the floor? Caleb, after a long pause. Because sometimes I don't know what to say to you. I try to be strong, and it still doesn't feel like enough. AVA. You don't have to be strong all the time, Caleb, choked. But I want to be. I want to walk through that door and make you proud. Not just the you love me no matter what kind of proud, but the kind where you brag about me to your friends. AVA sits up slightly. I already do. Caleb looks up. You do? Ava? Nodding. I tell them my daddy wakes up before the sun, even when he's tired, that he makes grilled cheese with perfect corners, and that when I'm sick, he doesn't leave my side. That's my hero, not some guy in a tie. Caleb swallows hard. His eyes glass over. Caleb, quietly. I'm trying, Ava. I know. That's why I'm proud. She reaches out and places her tiny hand over his. He looks at her like he's seeing her for the first time. Not as a child, but as someone who's been quietly holding his heart this whole time. And in that moment, Something in him finally unclenches. Sometimes the people we least expect to understand us are the ones who've quietly survived the same fire. Int Morrow Industries, Loading Bay. Late afternoon, Caleb finishes mopping the last stretch of tile near the elevators, wiping his forehead with a rag as the sunset paints the hallway gold. His uniform sleeves are rolled up. He moves slower than usual, the kind of tired that doesn't show in bones, but in spirit. Behind him, Olivia approaches, holding a manila folder, pretending to review its contents. He notices her, stands straighter, nods. She hesitates for just a moment, then speaks. "Olivia, how's your daughter?" Caleb, surprised. "Getting better. Thanks for asking." Olivia, gently. "I saw you the other night. At the pharmacy." Beat. Caleb stiffens slightly. "Caleb, you didn't have to. If this is about the envelope, I already—" "Olivia, it's not." She softens. "Olivia, it's about dinner." Caleb, confused. "Excuse me? Olivia, I know how weird this sounds, but I've got more leftovers than fridge space, and I figured Ava might like pasta that wasn't made from a box." Caleb, "You inviting your janitor to dinner?" Olivia, "No, I'm inviting Caleb, the man who held the door open when he didn't have to, and didn't flinch when it closed on him later." Long pause. Caleb, carefully, "I don't take handouts." Olivia, "It's not a handout. It's a table, and there's an extra chair." She smiles, not politely, not condescendingly, just honestly. Olivia, "You both remind me of who I used to be." Caleb doesn't answer right away, but the corner of his mouth lifts, just barely, and the silence between them doesn't feel like distance anymore. You can't always see where someone came from by the shoes they wear now, but sometimes the refrigerator tells you everything. Int Olivia's townhouse. Early evening. The door opens to soft jazz, warm lighting, and the faint smell of garlic and thyme. Caleb, in a borrowed button-down, steps inside cautiously, holding Ava's hand. She clutches a hand-drawn thank you card, her eyes wide at the sight of a staircase that splits in two directions. Olivia greets them at the door, dressed down. Cozy sweater, no heels, barefoot. She kneels to Ava's level. Olivia, "You must be Ava," Ava, smiling. "I brought you a card. It has glitter, but only a little. Daddy says glitter never leaves." Olivia, grinning. "Smart man," she ushers them in. In the kitchen, Caleb, "I expected something colder." Shinier, Olivia. "I saved the marble counters and wine cellars for board meetings." AVA, pointing at a wall. "You have crayon drawings too?" Olivia laughs softly. "Those are mine." Age 6. "My mom taped them up in every apartment we ever rented." Caleb approaches the refrigerator. Stops. Description. Cunt. The fridge is cluttered with Polaroids and yellowing photos. A far cry from the sleek, curated aesthetic he expected. One photo catches his eye. A young Olivia, maybe 10, sitting on a metal bunk bed with a chipped frame. A shelter tag is visible on her wrist. She's smiling. Caleb, "Is this?" Olivia, quietly, beside him. "Yeah. Me and my mom. 1990. Women's shelter on Roosevelt." Caleb, softly. "Didn't think you came from that far down." Olivia, "Most people don't. They think I was born into corner offices." Caleb, "And now?" Olivia, "Now I keep the photo up, so I don't forget how small a bed can feel when there's too much noise in your head." She walks back to the stove, stirring sauce like she's stirring a memory. Caleb lingers at the fridge, his eyes locked on the girl in the photo, and suddenly, the room doesn't feel so far above him. It feels like somewhere he's already been. Some memories live in our hands, waiting for keys to wake them. Even when the music is forgotten, the feeling remains. Int Olivia's living room. Later that night, dinner is finished. The dishes are stacked neatly. Laughter still lingers in the corners of the room. Ava sits on the rug, building towers with wooden blocks. Caleb stands quietly near the back of the room, eyes fixed on something in the corner. A sleek, upright piano, polished black, almost untouched. Olivia returns with mugs of cocoa. Olivia, play, if you want. Caleb, half smiling. What makes you think I can? Olivia. The way you looked at it, like it remembered you. He hesitates, then walks toward it. His fingers hover over the keys, uncertain. Then, a gentle press. A note rings out, then another. It begins clumsy, then fluid AVA, eyes lighting up. Daddy? Caleb, without turning. Haven't touched one in years. He begins to play. Not a song from a book, but something made from memory. It's soft, warm, wistful. Olivia watches from the sofa, her face unreadable. AVA hums along instinctively. A melody she's never heard, but somehow knows. Caleb, to himself, almost a whisper. This was for her, Ava's mom. I wrote it. When I thought we'd raise her together. The room stills. The notes float like old letters reopened. AVA. It's the prettiest song I've ever heard. Caleb smiles, still playing. It's called The First Time She Laughed. Behind her cocoa mug, Olivia slowly raises her phone and taps record. Discreet, reverent, not to share, but to remember. Because some music isn't meant for concerts. It's meant for healing. Talent doesn't ask for attention. But when the world overhears something honest, it listens. Even if it doesn't yet know who's playing. Int, Meadow Industries. Executive floor, next morning. A typical Monday rush. Board members walk in holding briefcases and caffeine. An intern adjusts the conference room thermostat. Someone's voice echoes down the hallway arguing about logistics. Then, something unexpected. Piano, soft, measured, crisp. It filters up from the vents like a ghost with good timing. Not loud, but unmistakable. A haunting melody that doesn't belong to any lobby playlist. Board member number 1, pausing mid-conversation. Do you hear that? Board member number 2. Who put a speaker in the ductwork? Assistant, popping her head in. No speaker. Someone's playing live. Downstairs. Board member, Sharky 1. Downstairs? Assistant, yeah. Someone recorded it on their phone last night. It's going around. She hits play on her phone. The melody from last night pours out. The group goes quiet, a rare thing for them. Board member number 3, genuinely impressed. That's not background music. That's something else. Board member number 2, raising an eyebrow. Who is it? Assistant, scrolling. No ID tag on the clip, but rumor says it's the janitor. The guy from that oddball interview cycle. Caleb Pierce? Board member number 1. Wait, that guy? Board member number 3. Are we sure it's not Chopin? Board member number 2. Deadpan. If it is, someone resurrected him in coveralls. They exchange looks, confused, intrigued, a bit embarrassed. Int, janitor closet. Same time Caleb folds his gloves. Neatly, gently. His phone is tucked away. The piano he played? Already returned to silence. But somewhere upstairs. His melody is still moving through walls never meant to carry his name. People think giving up on a dream is weakness, but sometimes it's the strongest choice of all, especially when someone else's future depends on it. In T. Meadow Industries. CEO's office. Late. Afternoon sunlight slants across the glass walls. Caleb stands just inside the door, clearly summoned but unsure why. Olivia is seated at her desk, laptop closed. Her phone lies face down, the audio clip from the night before still lingering in her memory. She doesn't waste time with small talk. She gestures for him to sit. He does. Stiffly. Olivia. That was you, wasn't it? Caleb, avoiding her eyes. Depends what that is. Olivia, softly. The piano. The melody that's been passed around the entire top floor since 9 a.m. Long silence. Caleb. Yeah, that was me, Olivia. Gently. Where'd you learn to play like that? Caleb High School. Played by ear. Then I got into a community program. 1 year at Everline Conservatory. Olivia. Surprised. That's not just some local place. That's real. Caleb. Nods. It was. Full ride. Tuition, board, even a part-time stipend. Olivia. So, what happened? Caleb. Long pause. Life happened. Pulls something from his wallet. A faded photo of Ava as a newborn. Caleb. Her mom got sick. Left. I was 21 and holding a bottle in one hand and a shut-off notice in the other. Olivia. And the scholarship? Caleb. Quietly. Couldn't rehearse with a crying baby in the background. Couldn't make the morning theory classes when she had a fever at 3 a.m. Olivia. Gentle. So you gave it up? Caleb. I didn't give it up. I traded it for diapers and rent. She doesn't speak. She just nods. Once. As if realizing that behind every forgotten name, there's a symphony that never got played. And this janitor? He's been composing in silence for years. Sometimes the second offer means more. Not because the title changed, but because this time, the person offering it truly sees you. Int. CEO's office. Continuous Caleb places the photo of Ava back in his wallet, careful, like it's sacred. The room is still quiet. No clock ticking. No email pinging. Just Olivia, sitting across from him, no longer as CEO and janitor. Just two people who've had to choose survival over applause. She leans forward, both hands on the table, serious, open. Olivia. Let's try this again. Caleb. Try what? Olivia. I'm offering you the operations support lead position. Caleb. Sighs. I thought we were done with this. Olivia. I thought I was doing you a favor. Turns out I wasn't doing enough. She slides a revised contract forward. It has his name on it. Typed official. Caleb, glancing at it. Still think the board will love this? Olivia. The board answers to numbers. And you've already cleaned up messes they've ignored for years, literally and figuratively, Caleb. And if I mess it up, Olivia, then you'll own it, but not alone. She pauses, then leans back. Olivia, this isn't charity. This is recognition. This is me seeing a leader where others saw a broom. Caleb, after a long moment, it's not just about the money. Olivia, I know, Caleb. And I don't want anyone handing me a damn thing because they feel guilty. Olivia, firm. Then take it because you've earned it. Because you're the man who held the door, not for me, but for someone running toward a future. Now it's your turn. He exhales slowly. Caleb, I don't know what kind of leader I'll be. Olivia, then make it up as you go. It's what we all do. Caleb picks up the contract. Flips to the last page, reaches for the pen. Caleb. Then let's make music out of this mess. As he signs, the screen fades. Not to black, but to light. Some people will smile in your direction, as long as you stay beneath them. But the moment you stand at eye level, they start squinting. Int. Morrow. Industries. Break room. Late morning Caleb. Now wears a new ID badge. The title reads, Operations Support Lead. His uniform is upgraded. Pressed shirt. No mop cart. Still the same man. Different eyes follow him now. He walks through the halls with a clipboard in one hand, reviewing supply chain adjustments for janitorial routes and front desk rotations. But the whispers trail behind him. A few staff members give polite nods. Some don't look up. In the corner, Tom, a longtime maintenance tech, watches him with arms crossed. Tom, to another tech, under breath. 2 weeks ago, he was scrubbing my floors. Now I gotta report to him? Tech. He's got Olivia's blessing. That counts for something. Tom. So does kissing the right ring. Cut to NT, copy room. Caleb tries to fix a jammed copier, toner dust on his fingers. Receptionist, whispering to a peer. Did you hear? He's not even certified, no degree. Just a sob story and a piano solo. Cut to INT, conference room, later. An envelope is slipped onto HR's desk, typed, clean. Anonymous. Inside, a complaint. Improper promotion based on personal. Relationship. Unqualified. Unprofessional. Disruptive to morale. INT. HR. Office. Same day. The department head frowns as she reads the letter. At the bottom, a printed name is added anonymously, Caleb Pierce. She picks up her phone. Dials, cut to black, the man who held the door. Now finds himself one step from being pushed out. Progress doesn't always come with applause. Sometimes it walks into a room full of polished smiles and realizes every handshake hides a closed fist. Int, Morrow Industries. Executive boardroom, early evening. The walls gleam. The chandelier hums above. The board of directors sit in their assigned chairs. Crisp suits, cold water, colder eyes. At the head, Olivia. Calm, straight-backed, alone in her position. A projector flickers to life with charts, new budget plans, hiring statistics, internal morale reports. At the bottom of the slide, transition plan. Facilities to ops integration. Lead, Caleb Pierce. Murmurs ripple down the table. Board member, number 1, clears throat. Olivia, this transition proposal. Is this the janitor? Olivia, evenly. He's our operations support lead. Yes, board member number 2. Was he vetted? HR flagged a complaint. Olivia. Anonymous complaints are easy. Solutions are not. He's already saved us $3,000 a month in supply restructuring and reallocated unused night shifts. Board member number 3, skeptical. With no formal credentials? Olivia. With lived experience and more hands-on management than half the resumes we rubber stamp. Board member number 2. That's nice, but experience doesn't erase optics. We promote a janitor, and suddenly everyone thinks this place is a charity case. Board member number 1, leaning forward. You're emotionally invested, Olivia, and it's clouding your judgment. Board member number 3, smirking. He opens doors. That doesn't mean he belongs behind one. Olivia, quietly. No, it means he knows what it feels like to be locked out. Pause. She lets it land. Olivia, which makes him better equipped to lead than any of us who've never had to knock. Silence. Someone shifts uncomfortably in their chair. No decision is made, but the lines are drawn. Above it all, the projector hums, and Caleb's name glows faintly against a boardroom full of doubt. They can question your title, doubt your resume, whisper behind your back, but they can't erase the reason you show up anyway. NT. Basement corridor. Early morning, Caleb unlocks a small office near the loading dock. The new operations support lead space is modest. 4 walls, 1 flickering ceiling light, a desk that's more functional than fancy, but it's his. He places his work satchel down, sits, exhales. The room is still bare. No degrees on the wall, no framed accomplishments. Just silence. Then, from his folder, he pulls out something carefully folded in layers of tissue paper. Caleb. Softly, to himself. Can't believe I almost forgot you. He opens the paper. It's Ava's drawing, the same one from weeks ago. Stick figures, crayon scribbles of him in a big square building, labeled in pink marker. My dad is the boss, with the B drawn backwards. He smiles. Quietly. Fully. He leans across the desk, opens the top drawer, finds a small pushpin, walks to the wall behind him, and tacks the picture up just above eye level. He sits back down, looks at it. Just him, a filing cabinet, and a 6-year-old's belief in him staring right back. Footsteps echo faintly outside. Other staff reporting in, unaware of the moment inside this little office. But Caleb? He doesn't need applause. He has this. The camera lingers on the drawing, childlike, imperfect, powerful. For now, it's the only thing hanging on his wall. And it's the only thing that matters. Climbing into a new role means learning new language. But sometimes, the hardest thing isn't speaking it. It's surviving the silence after everyone laughs. Morrow Industries. Weekly Ops Meeting. Late morning. A dozen staff sit around a long table. Supervisors, shift leads, and department heads. Some glance at Caleb. Others avoid eye contact. He stands at the whiteboard, trying to present a breakdown of supply usage and shift overlap optimizations. Handwritten notes tremble slightly in his hand. Sweat beads near his temple. A digital projector blinks behind him. Off-center, unformatted, too small to read. He clears his throat, clicks to the next slide. Caleb. If we reassign the rotation schedule on Wednesdays, we can reduce inventory waste by, fumbles with the remote, by about, sorry, hold on. Supervisor Sharp 1 mutters under breath. Did he just say inventory waste or waste? Supervisor Nart 2 snickers. Couldn't tell. Maybe both. Caleb, still trying to fix the projector. It's the screen format. I had it on my phone this morning, but Supervisor number 1. You should really export to PDF before bringing it here, man. Supervisor number 2. Loud enough for others to hear. Yeah, basic formatting. Or did they skip that module at mop school? Several chuckles ripple around the table. Caleb stops clicking. Lets the remote fall to the table with a soft thunk. Caleb, quietly. The numbers are right, whether or not the font is. Pause. But no one meets his eyes. Supervisor Tarker 2, shrugging. Smug. You can't teach a mop man to manage money. Laughter again. This time, sharper. From the glass hallway outside, Olivia watches silently. She doesn't interrupt. Not yet. But her eyes narrow as Caleb swallows back whatever he almost said. The learning curve just turned into a battlefield. There's a difference between giving someone a chance and standing beside them when it costs you something. Executive Conference Room. Late afternoon. The atmosphere is stiff. The board members sit upright, scrolling through their tablets as Olivia stands at the front, arms crossed, not holding any tech, just truth. The lights overhead buzz faintly. Someone clears their throat. On the screen behind her, a single name. Caleb Pierce. Operations Lead Board, Member Sub 1. Let's get this out of the way. This Caleb experiment. It's becoming a distraction. Board Member Number 2. His presentation this morning was a mess. No formatting. No clarity. Board Member Number 3. He's making your judgment look emotional. Olivia, coldly. And your judgment looks like entitlement in a tie. Pause. Tension. Board Member Number 2. This isn't personal. Olivia. That's the problem. It should be. She steps forward. Olivia. That man saved this company thousands of dollars within his first 2 weeks. He shows up early, leaves late, cleans up your mistakes, literally and figuratively. Board Member Number 1. But he's not one of us. He's not boardroom material, Olivia, sharp. He's not you. That's why he works. Pause. She softens, but only slightly. Olivia, he doesn't need your validation, but I do need your respect, not just for me, but for him. Because if we punish people for trying to grow, what exactly are we rewarding? Board member number 2. You're risking your reputation over a janitor. Olivia. I'm not risking it, I'm using it. Olivia. Steady, unapologetic. He's earned more in grit than some of you have in degrees. The room is stunned into silence. One board member lowers their tablet, another looks away. And Olivia, not breaking eye contact, picks up the marker and draws a check mark next to Caleb's name. Not a vote, a promise. A man doesn't walk away from a fight because he's weak. He walks away when he starts believing no one's fighting with him. Meadow Industries. Maintenance, locker room, evening. The space is dim. A line of lockers hums under flickering lights. Somewhere a pipe drips. Caleb sits on the bench, uniform half unbuttoned, fingers rubbed raw from work and from holding back. The locker beside him creaks open as he gathers his things. A clipboard, his lunchbox, and a folded pair of gloves. He moves slowly, like every part of him is heavier than usual. Caleb, muttering to himself. Maybe I'm not built for offices and ego. He slams the locker shut, not hard, but loud enough to echo. Sits back down, opens his lunchbox to empty it before tossing it. Inside, on top of a used napkin, is a folded note in crayon. To my daddy. From Ava. He stares at it. Unfolds it. Inside, a messy heart drawn in 3 colors. Next to it, don't give up. I see you. Love your boss. His shoulders cave. His eyes fill. Caleb, quietly to no one. You still believe in me, huh? He presses the note against his chest. Silence. Then, he laughs, not loud, not bitter. Just a single breathy laugh that sounds a little like breathing again. He tucks the note back into the lunchbox, and instead of leaving it behind, he puts it right back into his bag. He doesn't say it aloud, but he's staying. Some words don't come from mentors or managers. They come from someone small enough to sit on your shoulders and still see the giant in you. XT. Meadow Industries. Parking lot. Night. Caleb walks slowly toward the exit gate, bag over his shoulder. The building behind him glows from the inside. Busy, alive. He stops at the edge of the sidewalk, looks out toward the bus stop, then down at his hands. He opens the lunchbox again and pulls out Ava's note. The wind rustles slightly. Streetlights buzz, but the paper holds steady in his hand. Whispered, internal voiceover, as if reading the letter again. AVA, VO. Dear Daddy, I made you this heart because sometimes grown-ups forget they have one. He smiles. Ava, VO. You tell me to keep going, even when I mess up. So this time, I want to tell you, keep going, Dad. He exhales, blinking fast. AVA, VO. You're already a boss, even when you feel small. Beat. AVA, VO. Love, your boss. He folds the note slowly, carefully, like something sacred. He stands at the curb, looks left, toward the bus, then right, back toward the building. And without another word, Caleb turns back around. The doors ahead open automatically, recognizing him this time. Because now, he's walking in like he belongs. Some problems don't need more meetings. They need someone who's seen the mess from the ground floor and knows exactly where the leak is. Operations, conference room. Next morning, charts and forecasts flicker on a wall-mounted screen. Tension simmers under fluorescent lights. The board's budget team sits clustered around coffee cups and sarcasm. Whiteboards are filled with red arrows, loss projections, and supply chain bottlenecks they've been debating all morning. Caleb stands near the door, unnoticed for a moment, until Olivia gestures him forward. He carries a single folder. Board analyst. We've already cut overtime and optimized delivery schedules. Still bleeding 9% in Q2, board members are 2. Then the holes in warehousing, or janitorial overstock. Again. Olivia, calmly. Actually, Mr. Pierce has a proposal. Board member Sha 1. Doubtful. This should be good. Caleb steps forward, opens the folder, places down a single sheet. Caleb. You're calculating loss based on volume, but your vendors have been invoicing in pallets, not individual units. Pause. Caleb. Your loss rate isn't due to overspending. It's due to duplicate ordering caused by mismatched SKUs. Board analyst. Squinting. He's right. Board member 32. How the hell do you know that, Caleb? Because I've been relabeling those pallets at 5 a.m. for 2 months. He clicks a remote. The screen changes. Graphs update, numbers flip. The projected deficit drops in real time. Board analyst, murmuring. That's nearly $50K in recoverable margin, Caleb. And if you switch to digital pallet scanners, you'll cut that in half within 90 days. Board member number 1. How do you know what model? Caleb. Because I helped install them at my last job, before I scrubbed floors. Silence. The room goes still. No one laughs. No one questions him. They just stare. At the numbers, at the solution, at the man they almost dismissed. Caleb doesn't gloat. He simply walks back to his seat. The one he built himself. Sometimes, the greatest power isn't in building someone up. It's in stepping aside and watching them build themselves. Int executive floor, glass walkway. Late afternoon, Olivia stands alone in the corridor above the open concept floor. Below her, teams crisscross between departments. A new rhythm pulses through the space. One she didn't design, but one she helped start. She holds a coffee she forgot to sip, watching Caleb down below. He's mid-conversation with 2 shift leads, gesturing to a supply chain chart taped to the wall. He laughs once, nods, makes a note with a Sharpie on the fly. No clipboard, no fear, just presence. Olivia, internal. He doesn't know I'm watching, which is the best way to see someone. She notices it. His posture now taller, his hands more confident, the steady way people pause when he speaks. He isn't asking for space anymore, he's owning it. She turns away from the glass and walks back toward her office. A smile tugs at her mouth. Not the corporate kind, the quiet, proud kind that only comes from seeing someone prove you right. Olivia, internal. Funny. Turns out he didn't need my help, just a door. She passes her assistant without a word. Back in her office, she erases a name from her whiteboard and replaces it with Caleb P. Department lead proposal, Q3, because she no longer sees him as the man they questioned. She sees him as the man they'll follow. Some victories aren't shouted from rooftops. They're framed quietly in the corners we once swept. Int basement, janitor's closet. Early morning, the smell of lemon cleaner still lingers. The room hasn't changed. Shelves still sag with old mop heads and light bulbs. A single flickering bulb casts a golden hue over the sink-stained walls. Caleb walks in, slowly, holding a letter in one hand and a pushpin in the other. He scans the room. His eyes soften as they land on the small wall above the broom hooks. Once he stood here with aching feet and silent hopes. Now, he pins the letter there. It reads, Caleb Porter, Facilities and Operations Coordinator. Effective immediately. The same hands that once gripped a mop now sign off on department budgets. Caleb, softly, to the room. Didn't think I'd miss you, but you taught me more than any office ever could. He steps back, takes a deep breath, and gives a small private nod to himself. Just then, the door creaks open. A young custodian, maybe 19, peeks in. Baggy shirt, nervous eyes. Custodian. Oh, sorry, I thought no one. Caleb. You good? Come on in. He steps aside and holds the door open. The custodian nods, surprised, and enters. As the door slowly closes behind them, the camera lingers on the letter. Bright against the dull gray wall. Int janitor's closet. Door shuts slowly. We hear a soft echo of the daughter's voice from earlier in the story. My dad, he doesn't quit. And now, he doesn't clean to survive. He leads because he remembers what it feels like to be unseen. Heroes don't always wear suits. Sometimes they wear worn-out sneakers, a tucked-in shirt, and carry lunch in a reused grocery bag. Because their real job is showing up. Int. Elementary school. Gymnasium. Day colorful posters line the walls. Welcome to Career Day. Rows of parents stand behind folding tables, some in uniforms, some in lab coats, some holding tools or pointing at laptops. Kids mill around with clipboards, scribbling notes. Caleb stands beside a trifold board decorated by his daughter. Stick figures, glitter letters, and a big photo of him holding a clipboard in front of a maintenance panel. A cutout heart reads, My dad, the boss, Ave. His daughter beams in front of the class, AVA, confidently. This is my daddy. He used to clean the school floors when I was little. Now, he runs the entire building. Gasps ripple through the kids. AVA. He fixes things, leads people, and he even plays the piano in the lobby sometimes. Like a real concert. Caleb, blushing softly. She makes it sound fancier than it is. A few parents chuckle. One teacher gives a small clap. Student. So, you're like the boss of the brooms in the boardroom? Caleb, smiling. Something like that, AVA. And he's the best dad, ever. She squeezes his hand. He looks down, eyes moist. Caleb. That's the only title I've ever really wanted. A teacher hands Ava a gold star sticker for her presentation. She sticks it proudly on Caleb's shirt, right where a name badge would be. And in that moment, with kids laughing and crayons scribbling, Caleb realizes he didn't just get promoted at work, he got promoted in her eyes. Some moments don't need a crowd, just two people, and the silence between them. Int office, hallway, evening. The building is quiet. The hallway lights hum softly. Outside the sun dips low, painting the glass walls amber and gold. Caleb stands in front of her office door, holding something in his hand. He knocks, then hesitates. Isabel, the CEO, looks up from her desk. Her shoes are off. A photo of her younger self, in front of a shelter, sits beside a mug of cold coffee. Caleb. Got a minute? Isabel, genuinely, always. He steps in, closing the door gently behind him. He offers her a small potted plant, lavender, tied with a blue ribbon. Caleb. My daughter said, it's for the lady who made her dad smile again. Isabel's expression softens. Isabel. She's something special. Caleb. Yeah, she saved me more than once. They share a brief silence. Caleb. I never really said, thank you, for the job, for seeing past what I looked like on paper. Isabel. You didn't need to. You earned it every day. He nods. Caleb. I didn't change because you helped me. She tilts her head slightly. Caleb. I changed because someone believed I could. That made all the difference. Her eyes glisten. She sets the plant on her desk, beside the old photo. Isabel. Then it was worth every risk. They exchange a quiet, respectful smile, the kind that needs no more words. As Caleb leaves, he pauses at the door, not to open it, but to hold it for her. And for the first time, she walks through it, following someone else's lead. Some gifts are returned not in words, but in quiet acts that ripple beyond one person, one building, one life. Int. Community Center. Dia-faded bulletin board gets a new edition. A crisp, cream-colored flyer with soft purple print. The Lila Fund. For single parents who dream again. Below the title is a message, because no one should have to choose between rent and rebirth. A tearful young mom reads it, her toddler tugging at her coat sleeve. Her hand slowly reaches for the application form. Inti. Building lobby. Later, Caleb watches quietly from the side, leaning against a wall as the center director pins up the flyer. He doesn't speak, doesn't step forward. His name isn't on the form. No logo, no spotlight, just a cause. And a daughter's name in bold center director. Who should we say it's from? Caleb, shaking his head. No one needs to know. She nods, then pauses. Center director. But they'll want to thank someone. Caleb. Let them thank themselves. When they keep going. She stares at him for a beat, then smiles. Center director. Still, it's a beautiful name. Caleb, softly. She earned it. As he walks out, a gust of wind lifts one of the flyers from the board. It floats gently into the hands of a young father nearby, who reads it and smiles like someone who just found a door where there used to be a wall. Progress doesn't always arrive in loud declarations. Sometimes it rolls in quietly, on polished wheels, with ivory keys and a memory. Int building lobby. Monday morning, a sleek, upright black piano is being wheeled into the marble-floored lobby. Its presence feels out of place, like placing a violin inside a boardroom. Executives glance up from their phones. Interns whisper. No sign. No label. Just music waiting to happen. Caleb stands nearby, watching it being positioned beneath a skylight where the light softens its edges. Next to the piano, a simple wooden chair and a handwritten note taped to the bench. Open to all. No degree required. Young intern, to Caleb, puzzled. Is this a fundraiser thing? A PR move? Caleb, without looking away. No, it's a memory. And a reminder, young intern. Of what? Caleb, softly. That we were more than titles, long before we earned them. Later that day, NT, lobby, 6:30 p.m. The building is mostly empty. Light spills in like music. Caleb takes a seat, cracks his fingers, breathes deep. He plays a slow, aching rendition of Clair de Lune. Soft, deliberate. It doesn't demand attention. It invites feeling. People pause. The cleaning crew. A security guard. One board member standing in shadow. Nobody says a word. As the last note fades, Caleb closes the piano lid. Gently, reverently, then places a blank music sheet on top, waiting for someone else to write the next song. Some gifts don't come wrapped in ribbons. They carry weight, not from gold, but from memories worn thin through years of quiet strength. Ent Caleb's new office. Evening. The lights are dim. Papers are stacked neatly. A photo of Caleb and his daughter sits beside a ceramic mug painted with childlike flowers. The knock is soft. Claire, the CEO, steps inside. She's wearing jeans and a windbreaker. More human than executive tonight. In her hand is a small velvet box. Caleb looks up from reviewing a proposal. Caleb didn't expect a delivery. Claire, half smile. It's not from me. It's from someone you've never met. But who knew someone like you? She opens the box and reveals a deep burgundy silk tie, frayed at the edges, creased with time. Claire, quietly. It was my father's. He wore it to every job interview, even the ones he never got. Told me it reminded him of who he was, not what he had. Caleb swallows, emotion rising uninvited. Caleb. I can't accept that. Claire. You already did. When you held that door. When you stayed. When you refused to be anyone but yourself. She hands it over, folding his fingers around it. Claire, softly. You're everything he hoped you'd become. Caleb grips the tie, eyes burning. He says nothing, but his silence speaks in volumes. As she turns to leave, he places the tie carefully on his desk, then removes his company badge and pins the tie to his heart. Time has a funny way of folding in on itself. Moments you once lived come back, not to haunt, but to remind you how far you've come. Int office. Lobby. Early morning. The building is still stretching awake. Soft sunlight filters through the tall glass windows. Caleb walks through the lobby, now dressed in a tailored but modest suit. tie slightly crooked, same burgundy silk, a file in his hand, a new hire interview on his schedule. As he approaches the entrance, the glass doors swing open behind him. A young man, mid-30s, pants damp from the rain, clutches a folder to his chest. His shoes are scuffed, hair wet, a little out of breath. That same look Caleb once wore, nervous, but trying to stand tall. Young man, fumbling. "Sir, sorry, do I go to the front desk or—" Caleb, smiling gentle. "You here for the ops position?" Young man. "Yeah, it's my second interview this week. Hoping it's the one." Caleb studies him for a moment. The worn shoes, the patched elbow on the jacket, the trembling in the fingers trying to hide. Caleb, offering his hand. "What's your name?" Young man Tariq. Caleb. "Nice to meet you, Tariq. Come on up. We'll start with a coffee. You look like you could use something warm." The young man exhales. A small, grateful smile. As they walk, Caleb holds the elevator door open. Behind them, Claire stands on the upper balcony, unnoticed, watching the moment unfold. She smiles faintly. Some people hold doors. Others become the reason they stay open. Not every victory makes noise. Some arrive as a door held open, without needing thanks, without needing to be seen. XT, office building. Late afternoon. The golden hour bathes the building in warm light. Staff begin to exit. The workday slows to a hush. Inside the glass lobby, Caleb walks a visitor to the entrance, a woman in her 50s, holding an envelope, her eyes weary from looking for hope. As they reach the doors, he pulls one open and steps aside. She hesitates, not expecting such grace from someone who clearly holds power here. He just nods. Outside, a few employees pass by, catching the gesture. From across the street, Claire watches quietly. Dressed in casual clothes, coffee in hand, no boardroom today. She doesn't wave, doesn't interrupt. She just watches. A soft smile forming as the woman steps out into the sunlight, envelope clutched to her chest like it might change everything. Caleb, softly as she passes him. "Good luck today. They're lucky to have you." The woman nods, almost tearful, and walks down the steps. A small child runs up to Caleb, his daughter, now a little older, backpack bouncing. "Daughter, you held the door again?" Caleb, chuckling. "Always." Daughter, grinning. "You're gonna need a bigger building. Too many people getting through." They walk off together, hand in hand. Some doors don't just open to rooms. They open to new lives. And sometimes the person holding it becomes the reason others never stop walking through.